Good evening, Angels. This is Mike here, and we are here outside waiting for my cousin. We're gonna do a light painting, somewhat tutorial, pretty much behind the scenes, just to educate you guys and also make you aware of what we've go through as photographers. I made a videography video not too long ago. I haven't posted it yet. I think you'll see this one first for the photography session. So I'm gonna do two videos, behind the scenes, what we go through as photographers and videographers, behind the scenes. This is why we charge X amount, because of the work that we go through. And some people are more talented than others, and that's why they charge what they charge. And also respect your photographers, your local photographers out there that are trying to make a living off of this. I mean, it is art here, creating art and all that. And yeah, we're gonna walk you through pretty much what we go through in the photography section, photography area. And tonight we're doing light painting. This is behind the scenes of what we go through in light painting. And I'm gonna show you the process that we go through in the computer and all that. It's gonna get a little bit dark right now. I mean, the sun's right there, it's already getting, and the car's gonna be right there and go through that. So sorry about this right now. He did say it was a little dirty, so the car's a little dirty. We're gonna try to clean up as much as we can and just do a little practice run. I mean, this is just for fun, practice. We'll do a clean car next time, but I mean, this is just for fun. He was around the area. He's like, yeah, I'll stop by. So here, I'm just waiting on him right now. So this is it. Here it is, guys. Check it out. Behind the scenes is what we go through, and here it is. Peace. All right, once you get your pictures in, first thing I like to do is play with a tone, pretty much with a tone curve. Uh, I play around with it. Since it's a dark, it's in the dark. I like to pick up the shadows and lower the highlights. But in the end, I ended up pretty much lowering the shadows a little bit more, and also the highlights. And from there, played with the aquas and so on to make it a little bit more white. So from there, start playing with the shadows and picked up the clarity so the stars can come out and so on and so forth. And but once you get your edits in, as you can see, the before and after. Once you get your edits in the way you like it on all the pictures, from there, export them and put them into Photoshop, and that's what it is here. So here I named them. I had the red lights, the red light for the tail lights. I did the sidecar where the sidecar came out more, the front, and so on. And from here, I made copies of each one. So make copies of it just in case you need to go back to the original one if you mess up or whatever. So if you do so much, you sometimes get into the mode and you forget, that you did some here and some there, and you can't control Z without, because you don't want to mess up a certain area because it's already way past. So make sure you make copies so you don't have to start all over. And from here, start, once you get the photos that you want that you're gonna copy in there, I start erasing. So I had my eraser tool out and start erasing, opacity 100, and I had probably the hardness around 50%, give or take. So from there, start erasing and start leaving just the parts which you like of the car, especially the light area, and start putting them together. And that's what I'm doing here. So going from the sidecar, just keeping the side part, and the front bumper, just keeping the front bumper where it lights up really well. So just keep the parts that you like the most. And right here I'm working on the tail lights, the red light end. So this is that picture right here, and you see how the back tire doesn't really come out, all that. So from there I start erasing it, picture. So that's what you're doing. It's just stitching. You start stitching the pictures together. As you can see, the sky as well, it doesn't look good. So I lowered the hardness all the way down, probably like 4%, and start going around right there. So as you can see, so bam, and start doing the roads as well. So take away off on the roads, all the way down. And from there, as you can see, the car starts coming together, from the front bumper, the side, the rear, and also the floor and the stars and the trees. And I take away all the little light streams there. That's all the light paths, erase all that. So I mean, some looks good with it, but personally I don't like it, so I take it out. And yeah, so there's some pictures that actually look really good with them, but personally I don't, so I take them out. So I just want the car, and right here start working on the road and so on, and start stitching them together. So that's what you're doing. You start stitching together. Don't worry about the colors yet. You see how it looks a little orange, I mean a little purpley orangey on top of the car. We'll fix all that. Also that little streak on where the stars are, we'll fix that. And start putting them together. So right here I grouped all the pictures I used. I grouped it all in one folder and just called it car stitch, because that's what I use. You stitch the car together. As you can see, also the wheel, uh, it looks a little dark, so I was trying to bring that up. But from here I start using the tone curve, so I start bringing the whole colors down. As you can see, it's looking a little bit more stitched together now. So I'm playing with it, just go side to side on whatever, the cayenne, the magenta yellows, especially on the blacks. So usually on the blacks, that's where you're working on the whites, you're working on the brighters on the whites, and on the mid-tones, the natural colors, you start doing that. So from here I go back to Lightroom because I needed something for the wheel. The wheel was too dark, so I used this photo particularly and brought up the wheel exposure and the highlights a little bit low. So start working with it here. So picked up the clarity, the shadows a little bit more too, and then that's all I want. I wanted this picture just for the wheel, and because here I forgot to use put light on the wheel. So every time you do a light painting, always do a specific photo just on the wheels, so you at least you can have that. And I've totally forgot about that, but still we still made it work here. So the car was dirty, and this was just a fun project, just to do. So that's what we started doing, just playing around. So here I just getting the wheels. It's back on Photoshop, and we're just trying to get the wheel out, just the wheel. So I'm just erasing. I mean, I could have used the pen tool easily, yeah, but from there, I mean, now it's just already on it, so just use the eraser. So pretty much all I used was the eraser tool here, and the sponge tool, and the to get the tire out a little bit, because you can see it looks a little bit blue. So try to take away that blue a little bit. So taking away the blue, as you can see, the rim looks dirty and everything. So that's another thing I didn't like. So I merged all the photos together after this and started smudging the rim. And I was trying to do it before, but I couldn't do it. So I started erasing a little bit on the wheel and start going from there, right? So trying to make it less dirty as possible, trying to make it all look good together. So now I'm here just showing you all the little stitch jobs that we did. Took away the healing tool on that little streak of light on top of the stars, as you can see. Now start playing with the tone curves here, playing with the reds, brought it a little bit up, also playing with the greens, pretty much doing everything, so all together here. So play with the reds, play with the greens, especially on the dark areas I put the greens low, and on the lighter areas I put it up a little bit brighter so it can show a little bit. And also with the blues the same way, as you can see. And then also on the neutral colors, picked up the magentas, play with it a little bit. As you can see now, the top of the car looks more red, kind of like the backlights, shining off of there. So this is what we go through, this whole stitching job of the light painting. Right now, it takes time. So right now I'm trying to fix this wheel because it looks a little bit too dirty. It looks like you see all the little spots there. It looks real spotty, dirty. And this is where I put all the pictures together. So because I can't really use the smudge tool, so I can smudge it because there's different photos. It's getting it from each side of the wheel. As you can see here, like parts of this photo shows the wheel, and then another parts on this other stitch shows this part of the wheel. So when you put them all together, that's what it looks like, but it still looks dirty. So here it is. I merged the group, merged into one, and then from here This is I start doing the work. The sponge kind of lines it up a little bit, but it wasn't working. I wanted to use a stamp tool, see if that would work, but no, it didn't work either. As you can see, it looks like a big old black spot there. So from the best tool that I used was the smudge tool. So from here, start smudging it just to give that grain and the dirty look out of the way, just to keep it out of the way. And there you go, that's how I made it look a little bit cleaner. And that was it. That was the whole process of doing this. It took a little bit, like close to 50 minutes to do this. Stitched around like 5 photos together, and then towards the end, just put your watermark and whatever, and then just crop it up where it looks good. And there you go. So this is a process we go through as photographers, especially this light painting, not tutorial, but I mean this, it pretty much shows you what we go through. So this is a finished product of the light painting of this car, even though this car was really dirty, but we did it just for fun. As you can see, the before and after here. So here's a before and then after, and this was the 5 photos we used for this stitching job. And from there, we use the front, the side, the wheel, the tail lights, the stars, the ground, and yeah, we stitched it all together, and that's what you get. And that's what we go through, guys. This is it. I'm sorry this was just a little quick, fast paced, it's just showing you what we go through in Lightroom, and then from Lightroom we put it to the Photoshop, and from Photoshop get that finished product. And then from there, once I'm done with Photoshop, put it back into Lightroom and just bring up the just to do little light touches if you didn't like it so much in the Photoshop ending there. So you can put it back in Lightroom and just tweak it a little bit, and you are done, you're set. And that is somewhat behind the scenes, pretty much the process of your photos. I know it's just one photo that we give you guys, and we charge you X amount for that photo because this is the process that we go through just to educate you guys. It's not just the photo that we take. No, it's a process. As you saw, it's a process. Stitching, like, it takes work, it takes talent, it is art, and that is what we go through, guys. So your local photographers, give them credit, whatever price they give you, respect their prices. You can negotiate here and there, but I mean, don't cheap them out, guys. I mean, they gotta make a living too. We gotta make a living, and this is a process that we go through. So thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.